Welcome everybody to Two Drunk Dudes in a Gun Room. This is Don.
This is Doug.
Man, today we got a guest to join us for Soldier Stories Round 2. So today we got you as a specialist, right, Mel?
Yes, sir.
Right, specialist Mel, out of the military now, enjoying civilian life, is joining us to help us out with some stories. Mel, do you want to start it off with your story? Or you want one of us to go first?
Hold on. So, number one, Mel, you were in one of the most hated MOSs in the
I
Army.
forgot. Yeah.
Right?
Snitch.
And I sometimes I know that had to just like annoy the hell out of you, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, if nobody knows what that is, he was an MP when he was in. So that when he was deployed, he was what? Security for convoys or escorts or some shit. And that's all. Detainees.
Well, those were the normal MPs. I never did any of that. I was attached to a special training platoon of MPs, so we did special stuff.
So that cadence about MPs didn't apply to you guys because you were not that regular MP. You know, the one you can't spell wimp without a MP.
Yeah.
Oh, Tito, we know you're special. We know you're special.
This story that we're about to hear will prove it.
So let's talk about your deploy or your combat experience that you told us about.
Okay, so I was in 2004 in Iraq, and I was in a little town called Academia across the Tigris River, and we were doing some training for the Iraqi police, right? And I was on top of the Humvee on the turret, and we had a 50 cal in front of me, and we started receiving fire. And I grabbed the 50 cal and I started shooting down range, man. And I don't know what the hell that vibration did, but it loosened up something inside of me. And I had to go take a shit really bad. So I told the private to get in and man the 50 cal. So I jump over the Humvee and I start looking in the back hatch of the Humvee. I start looking for toilet paper while we're getting bullets everywhere.
So you're getting shot at, and you stop to look for toilet paper.
Oh yeah, of course. I was not gonna wipe my ass with my hands, so.
But you got a shirt on, right? I mean, that's usually like we just take
I got shirts.
Take off a sock or something like that.
Everything, and that'll come into
not in combat.
No,
not when you're getting shot at.
No.
All right, go.
But that'll come into the story. So I jumped over the Humvee and I opened the back hatch and started looking for toilet paper. It turns out that my private did not pack his toilet paper. So I run from one corner of the compound to the other to ask the other team while we're under fire. So I'm crouching, running like combat style, dodging bullets and whatnot.
Like 3 to 5 second rushes, and you got to
exactly. I'm up. You see me, I'm down. That's the thing. So I get to the other Humvee and I asked the team leader over there, the other sergeant, by the way, it was Sergeant Garcia. I'm like, hey, toilet paper, man, I gotta take a shit really bad. And they look at me like, what the fuck are you? Really? I'm like, yeah. So they tell me look for it. It's in the back hatch. So I open the back hatch in the middle of this. I look for toilet paper, no toilet paper. So I ran inside the building of the police station, and I'm looking for a bathroom. Normal people have bathrooms in the buildings, right?
Right.
So I run through this hallway. There is a piece of block of cement or something with a hole in it, and that's where they used to sit down and squat in front of everybody. So I'm not doing that. So I ran to the back of the building, and I'm about 6 feet, right? So that's how tall the grass was in the back. And I'm like, perfect. I'm going to take a shit in the middle of this. But I spot about 50 feet away, I spot a porta potty. So great. I ran all the way there, man. And that shit is about to come out. I'm about to pull my pants down. I get there. I pull my M4 down, my 9mm, my pistol belt, my vest, my ammo, everything. And as soon as I started taking my belt off and I pulled my pants down, and I shit everywhere. I shit the porta potty, the side of the porta potty, my pants, my boots,
Hey,
everything.
that qualifies him as the mad shitter, don't it?
The mad.
shitter.
So I take it. I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna do now? So I pull my knife and I cut my shirt from my chest down, right? And it was so disgusting that was not enough. So I used whatever was left of my underwear. Still not enough. So I took my boots off, got my socks off. I finally was able to wipe everything off, right? So I put everything on, put my boots on, my pants and everything. I had nothing under. Go back to my Humvee and we're still under fire. So I told the private, hey, get down, let me get it on this motherfucker, because I'm gonna take care of this shit now. So I grabbed the 50 cal, and my private inside the Humvee goes like, hey Torres, what the fuck, man? It smells like shit in here. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. It's like, dude, your pants have a stain shit about this big in the back. So, I mean, I spent the rest of the day that way. And from that moment on, man, they make my life miserable for the rest of the fucking deployment that way. I was known as the, almost like you said, like the mad shit or something.
Yeah, no, number one, you're absolutely crazy for running and trying to find something in combat, right?
Yeah,
That's never happened to me, but I'm telling you, on convoys, if I gotta go, my tank stopped, and I got out and I leaned against it, and I shit right there, no matter who was passing by. I gave a damn. What did you do?
Same thing. Yeah, I just shit right there.
I mean, just lean up against the tire, drop drawer, and shit.
Now, in a firefight, I've never even felt that urge to have to shit. You know, everything's usually
to shit or like, I mean, you're
know
like
what I did
almost
after
at
that?
the first stage of shock at that time.
You know what I did after that, right? You remember the MREs where they came with a little pack of Tabasco and napkins and whatnot, right?
Right.
Every time we open an MRE, I ask for the napkins for everybody. So I always have toilet paper with me.
After that, you learned your lesson. You're like, no, I will always have toilet. I don't think that little MRE toilet paper would have helped you out then. No.
You should have told that private, give me your fucking shirt.
Yeah, give me a shirt.
You forgot the toilet paper. You no longer have a shirt.
In 03 and 04 deployment, right? For the initial invasion, remember that before we left, they're like, make sure you bring a washboard. And I'm like, what the fuck's a washboard?
Yeah.
You know, and they were almost sold out when I was looking for them.
Right.
And I finally find a washboard, and I'm like, well, how the fuck do you use this thing? You know, that kind of thing. You know, and we actually had to, you know, you would wear your clothes until they were pretty much like the salt from your sweat made them stand up on their own, and you would finally like wash them, right? And that's the way it was. Like you had to like couldn't put up with your own smell before you take them off,
Right.
and like you would break out a bucket, fill it with water, use that washboard and clean that shit, right? I just see him cleaning his fucking.
Hey.
Hey, did you throw them away or did? Huh?
We burned them.
We burnt them. Yeah,
I gave the private everything, every piece of shit that I had on that was shit on, and he burned them in a burn barrel.
Oh, the burn barrel, the shit barrel, burning shit.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean that's the proper place to burn it, probably.
Yep.
Shit,
Got rid of the smell right there.
Keep the fire going.
Yeah, got the fire going.
So you remember prior when you was in the military, before the main invasion in Afghanistan, you know, prior to 9/11, right?
Okay.
When you were that young soldier and you came across somebody that was actually in the original Gulf War, man, and everybody was just like huddle around them and listen to the stories, because nobody had combat experience. I mean, it was just a handful of
Nobody
people.
had the combat patch.
No, yeah.
You
see somebody with a combat patch, you didn't even talk to them.
Right,
you know?
right.
And we had one of those when I was stationed in Germany, and he was telling stories. He used to be 11 Bravo and got hurt, reclassed as a mechanic, and he was just that old crusty E5, and he was talking about things from the war, and he brought this one story, man, I will never forget. I mean, never until the day I die. I'll probably tell it at my funeral. I'll probably make a priest tell this story. But he was talking about how the war is similar to the main invasion for us. You know, we were just rolling through everything.
Right.
And they stopped for the night, and they were digging, fighting positions and everything. And they had the little Humvees set up. And he had a private on the 50 cal. And he was sitting there, and they were on guard, and that private heard something moving out there. And you know how it gets dark sometimes in the desert. If that moon's not up, you just can't see shit.
Yeah.
That private just let go, man. Bop, 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 bop.
No.
And all they heard was bop, 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 wah, bop, 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 wah. He said when the sun came up, there was a herd of wild camels just leveled.
No way.
They wasted a whole herd of, not a single person was there. It was just camels. And he said the only reason why the barrel on that 50 cal didn't get melted was because he hit that private in the top of the head to get him to let go of the trigger.
Yeah. No way, dude.
Yeah.
They say that shit's expensive too.
Well, I mean, I don't know during the original Gulf War that they were collecting fines at that time. But,
Yeah. Well,
Did they waste all that meat?
oh yeah.
Did they waste all that meat?
Yeah. They just. I'm sure they just
I
drove
don't like
off.
meat.
And,
He's like they didn't cut it open. I mean, we actually when we one of the times we were there, we actually bought a goat, and so we had a Samoan with us, and he gutted that thing, skinned it, threw it up on a damn fire and shit, and cooked that son of a bitch.
yeah, we did something different with a goat.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So I was in the 160th, and we did some combat medic training.
You were special, just like he was.
Yeah. I've been told I was special my whole life.
Oh, you're special.
But so they decided to do some like tourniquet and like bleeding exercises. So they bought a herd of goats.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
And we did 2 phases of it. We did it during the day and during the night, and they would fuck up these goats and throw them in a foxhole, and then you had to jump into the foxhole and administer first aid to them. Your goal was to keep the goat alive for 2 hours.
Just 2 hours?
Yeah,
It?
yeah,
I mean,
that's
it could pass away after that.
Well, it did. Mine was like sex. It didn't make it but a couple minutes. But that fucking goat, man, it was fucked up. And then the second one I did, you know, I found the artery that they cut, got it clamped off and got it stopped and everything. And the goat's just fucking laying there all fucking drugged out from morphine. And I looked at the doc. I said, I did it. The bleeding stopped. He's still alive. And he said, what about the amputation? I said, what amputation? He said, what? Bam! Got the fucking leg off.
Oh, he did, man.
I was like, have you ever tried to apply a tourniquet on a fucking goat's leg?
So, bitch.
That was some realistic training, man. Trying to find blood with NVGs on. Yeah, that's a challenge. That is a challenge.
What other story you got there, Torres?
What's that?
What other story you got?
I got something familiar or that resembles Dunn's story. You remember where Abu Ghraib was in Iraq?
Yeah.
Abu Ghraib prison. Okay, so across from that was
that.
across from that there was the Iraqi electric plant that supplied electricity through all the cities. So apparently there was some kind of intel that was going to be blown up or whatnot. So guess what? They deployed all 10th Mount plus MPs and whatnot to do the security around that. And by the time we get set up, the security is 360 around the electric compound. You know, I've been up for like 38 hours. Nobody's taking breaks. Nobody's rotating, nothing. So it was about 2, maybe 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm in front of the gate of the compound, and about 50 feet away, it was pitch black. You can only see about 50 feet in front of the Humvee, right? So I'm the one on top of the turret, and like I said, my team always carried the 50 cal. So I'm like bobbing for apples, man. I was tired as hell, and I started going like that. I'm like, fuck, I can't stay up. And I swear to God, man, one of those bobbing, I looked in front of me, and I swear to God, I seen this motherfucker dressed up in towel heads and started running with an AK and going, ah! Towards me, so guess what I did? I lit it up. I started firing the 50 caliber, and when I did that, the truck that was about, I don't know, the closest one to me, they did the same thing, so that we all started shooting nothing in the middle of that, and you hear over the radio, ceasefire, ceasefire. So they released QRF outside the gate because they're asking me. I'm on the radio. We have people coming in. They're attacking us. That's what I said. So QRF goes out the wire. You can see the lights at 50 feet away, and they're going around and whatnot. They don't find anything. They come back in, and I get my ass chewed at 3 o'clock in the morning. I was doing jumping jacks. I was doing push-ups. I was doing shit, man, because my first sergeant was fucking mad that I did all that shit. But, it was one of those things. It was fun. I took it like a man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, first sergeants are dicks.
Yeah, first sergeants are dicks.
They're dicks.
Yeah, especially when they're Doug Norris.
Sons of bitches.
You got
I
one?
love my first sergeant after that.
What?
I really did learn to love my first sergeant after that.
Yeah, yeah.
No. Did you ever miss movement?
I did not.
I never missed movement either.
No.
You always had that one soldier that would like fall in love somewhere. We did a field problem in South Carolina at this old like abandoned Air Force base.
Mm-hmm.
And like this dude kept sneaking out. I think I was an E5 at that time. Kept sneaking out. Go see this chick at we were right next to Myrtle. And he'd sneak out, see this chick, he'd come back. Never got caught, right? We were at this, back then the field problems were 30 days, right?
Yeah.
And it was aviation, so they tore down the Chinooks, loaded them up on C-17s, 5s, whatever they went on. We flew over there, and then, you did the whole field problem, you put them back together, test flights, all this other shit, and then we come back, right? And this dude ended up, and we tried talking that dude out of it, man. And if you see pictures of this chick or dude or whatever you want to call it, he felt mad in love with this chick in 5 days. I'm telling you, he talking about marriage, talking about this, talking about that. I mean, I was just like, what the fuck? What mechanic is this stupid, kind of thing, right? And dude, it came to like the next day, he missed movement. They made a squad of us stay back in that warehouse just in case this dude came back. Well, he came back. Then we had to wait for the helicopter to come back and get us.
No shit.
He was still talking mad shit about running away with this chick and stuff. And it happened almost in every unit. We duct taped that son of a bitch to his cot. When we found out when their helicopter was coming back to grab us, and we did not want to stay there anymore, because they left us with like a 3-day supply of Murray's, I think.
Yeah.
And we ended up, when he was in his bunk, duct taping or 100-mile-an-hour tape to his cot. And usually, that's fun and games, right? You pick up a lieutenant, you tie him to a turret of the tank, or you do it and take him up to the airstrip, just leave him there and walk away and shit. But no, this was just like, no motherfucker. And he pleaded and pleaded and pleaded. We shouldn't tape his mouth, obviously, but he pleaded for us and begged to let him go marry this chick. It's almost like being in Korea.
No shit.
It's like, what the hell are they thinking and shit? And I was still young. At that time, I think I was 24, 25 at that time. I mean, I was still somewhat young,
Yeah.
And it was just crazy, man. Absolutely nuts.
Have you ever been smoked over pussy?
No.
So AIT, right? We had
AIT.
yeah, AIT.
Like you
So-
still had drill sergeants back then.
We did.
Yes.
So I was on fire guard, is what they call it, right? But realistically, what it is there's that long hallway. At one end of the hallway, the drill sergeant sits at that desk.
Mm-hmm.
The fire guard sits at the opposite end of the building, where the drill sergeant can see him.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's a hallway that's in front of that fire guard with a door that goes out, and then another hallway that goes immediately to the right. To the right, that is all the female sleeping quarters. So realistically, what the fire guard's main job is to make sure that no males are going down there and doing the deed, right?
Right.
So this female comes up to the door and she knocks on the door, right? She's drunk as fuck. And I look down at the drill sergeant. He's not at the desk, so I get up and I walk in. I just open up the door and assume she's gonna walk on down into her room and pass out. You know, that's what I do. Well, I sit back down. She does. She goes in her room, and a few minutes later, she comes back out. And next thing I know, she looks at me. She goes, "You know what I hate about the Army?" I said, "What's that?" She said, "These granny bras." And boop, off they came. Right. So now, you know, my head is on a swivel, right? You know, I'm looking at the drill sergeant, looking at her, looking at the drill sergeant, right? And she goes, "But the worst thing of all is these granny panties, man." And boop, off they come. So now she's butt naked in the hallway, drunk as hell. The swivel breaks on my neck, and I lose track of where the drill sergeant is. And next thing I know, he's enjoying the view too, right behind me. And he makes me get up and go into the day room. And as I'm going in, he tells her, he said, "You need to go into your room, get dressed, and come back out here." And it's my drill sergeant that's on duty that night.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very religious man. I mean, all of his cadences was about God and everything, right? She offers him a blowjob.
No way.
To not tell on her, right? That didn't work out very well either for her, you know? And I just kind of chuckled to myself thinking, that ain't gonna work. You're gonna have to come bigger than that. Well, needless to say, she got an Article 15, and I got fire guard every night for like the next 2 weeks. And
Because your swivel broke?
because my swivel broke.
Yeah.
Man, I was tired as hell.
Yeah, we didn't have joining barracks like that.
Really?
No,
We didn't.
no.
Yeah.
They were in a totally different building, I think.
I mean, there was never a
Mine were
lot of
mixed
females,
too.
you know?
Huh?
Mine were mixed too. The first floor was the females, and the second floor was the guys.
That was the same here.
In Fort Leonard, it was that way.
Yep. The only sleeping quarters for us for females was on the first floor. The men were on the second and third.
Well, you know that when that happened, you always had soldiers trying to move or go down and do whatever business they were doing and then come back. They always got caught.
Oh yeah, it was happening. I mean, this girl was not afraid. I'm gonna tell you, there was a couple of guys that she invited down there.
I wonder where the
But
fuck MPs were.
Where did you go to AIT at, Mel?
No, I mean the MPs.
I did both.
Drinking.
I did both basic and
Yeah,
AIT.
she
and
got drunk at the
Fort
boy
Oh,
on
I know. Green Thunder.
Green Thunder, yeah.
Green
Yeah, I
Thunder!
forgot all about that. The Green Thunder. The snitches are coming.
Well,
The
also
snitches
my-
are coming. Huh?
Both of mine were in Fort Leonard, both basic
Leonard.
and AIT.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, I never knew where they
Yep.
trained people to snitch at. Yeah, that's a.
I loved it there.
Oh yeah, I bet. Yeah, I mean, you even stayed here after the military, so.
Hell, I never went anywhere else. I mean, I went everywhere from here, and then I stayed here when I got out. So
Yeah.
Oh, Farmington.
I like the country girls here.
Okay, I understand that.
Hey, you ever gotten smoked for not lying?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I did in AIT as well.
I did too,
Yep.
because I knew myself and my battle buddy back then when we were going through AIT, we seen and I'm not gonna say names, but we saw we were doing fire guard first of all. It was like midnight, like right at midnight, and so we were the only ones up. So while we were doing that, you know, we were buffing the floors and mopping and cleaning and whatnot. We did our part, whatever. So we went downstairs to the first floor where the drill sergeant's office was or whatnot, and we saw something weird, and we seen a female running from the door of the barrack and go whoop, inside the drill sergeant's office. It was like, did we see the right thing? What the fuck did we see? So we go there and there was something happening. So turns out that the senior drill sergeant comes in, and the guy that was the drill sergeant that was in, it was the very newest drill sergeant. So the senior drill sergeant comes in. I don't know why he came by and whatnot, and you hear everything falling, and oh my god, and boom, a door slams, and we still don't know what happened, right? So the drill sergeant gets everybody up. He pulls the other drill sergeant up with us, and he wants to know what the fuck was going on, because we know that me and my battle buddy were up. And we told him, I mean, we don't know, drill sergeant. We have no idea what happened. Bullshit. We knew what we saw, but we figured, you know, if we say something, this motherfucker is gonna have our asses for telling on him, get him into trouble. So if we don't say anything, we're still gonna get in trouble. So we decided to go with, I'm not gonna say nothing, and you know, see what happens. And it was midnight, so from midnight to like 3 a.m, we on the other side of the barracks, there was a hill, and man, we were doing sprints up and down that shit until IPU at 3 o'clock in the morning. for not telling the truth. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? Next time I say the truth, they're gonna smoke me anyway. So
it didn't matter. They're always right anyway. So
yeah.
It didn't matter if AIT or basic. You just like, get the fuck down, shut up. I don't care. Shut up. Why are you talking?
You know what happened, right?
What's that?
We never saw the drill sergeant again.
Oh.
Yeah, we never saw him again. I still to this day don't know what happened to him. We never saw him.
Huh, wow. Yeah, we were in formation getting ready to go to a company basketball game in AIT. They were making everybody go to support it. And
mandatory fun shit.
Yeah. And the drill sergeant goes, "All right, face." And right as the whole formation turned right, somebody let this loud ass fart. I mean, it was like right next to me. I'm 99% sure that I'm positive that the person directly next to me was the one that did it, right? The drill sergeant goes, "Left, face." Who was it that did that? Who just farted in my formation? Well, I didn't say shit, right? There, after a few minutes of being questioned, the guy directly to my right goes, "Boink," and points right at me. Right? So while they are all out there at the basketball game, I'm in the day room getting smoked. And after it's all over with, right, they come back, and I mean, this is like 45 minutes. I'm getting smoked. The drill sergeant finally looks at me and he goes, "So it wasn't you that did it, was it?" I said, "No, drill sergeant." He said, Who did it?" And I said, I don't know. At this point, my arms are too tired to fight, so I'm not snitching on anybody. But I didn't know for a fact who did it because it was loud. But I'm pretty sure it was the guy that pointed at me was the one that ripped it.
You didn't bend over to smell him or something?
Hell no.
No.
You gotta look for proof. You know that the MP in me would have done that.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure dedicated. Yeah. You know, another real quick story. So you MPs, let me tell you something, man. I'm in Afghanistan, and I go down the flight line, and our
You're still special at this time?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the aviators down there, they had like 8 or 9 wash carts, right? The big ones, the kind that go behind a Humvee that you drag around.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked if I could get one to have up in the motor pool to clean equipment, and he gives me this oddball one. He's like, all 8 of these are exactly the same. Take that weird one so I know which ones are mine. So I take it up there, right? I don't know, it's probably about a week or so later. I see these MPs come rolling in an up armored Humvee into my motor pool right now. We're on the fob. It's not like we're in Ramadi, you know, we're in a safe fob. They come in and they jump out of this Humvee, like 6 of them, right? They run over and there's an E6 standing there by the Humvee, and I'm watching the show. You know, I still don't, at this point, don't even know what's going on. And I look over and one of them, you know, they've surrounded this wash cart. One of them looks back at the E6 and he gives him the thumbs up, right? And he goes, "Whose wash cart is that?" And I said, "Mine." He said, "Who got that wash cart?" I said, "I did," because I didn't know what's going on, so I didn't want to throw my soldiers out there and say that I sent them down to go get it.
Right.
And he goes, "No, who helped you get that wash cart?" I said, "I did it by myself. I went down off the flight line and I got it." And he goes, "Sardin, you're under arrest for larceny." I guess the Marine unit couldn't find it, and so the only way they could clear when they rotated back was to report it stolen. What really happened was a Marine borrowed one of our wash carts. They blew it up, so they didn't know that one was even on the book, so they just gave it to us in replace for the one they burned up. And there was nobody back there, right? So I was in jail for like, I don't know, full day or so. You know,
well, it's like relaxation time.
That's not real jail.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like hard time or nothing.
Jail, it's just holding cell.
Yeah.
Hey, Doug, let me ask you a quick question. Did you ever have, did you ever have a special soldier that you always have to, you know, deal with him?
Oh,
Hunsacker.
Yes, everybody has. Yes. Everybody's had that special. Taco kind of qualifies as special back then.
Has it changed since the civilian war?
You know what? Yeah. Yeah. You could ask that question on both sides, huh?
Yeah, you
like,
sure could.
Special soldier or special employee,
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
Tell us we're wrong.
The what?
Tell us we're wrong.
No, you're not.
Uh-huh. Yep.
No. We had, you remember that private that forgot to pack the toilet paper?
Uh-huh.
I told you about?
Yeah.
Okay, so one day we're in front of the TOC and what was then Camp Victory. I don't know if it changed names or not, but back then it was Camp Victory. And we're getting our briefing on our next mission. And then after the briefing, it turns out that they canceled the mission that we was going to go into. And so we were doing inventory in the back of the Humvee while, you know, all the team leaders and the staff sergeants and whatnot, they went inside the TOC and figured out what was going on. So we started packing everything up, and my private was in charge of ammo. The ammo boxes, the AT4 and whatnot. So he forgets to pack the AT4, so we leave and that AT4 stays standing in front of the TOC.
Oh shit.
So we get to our little hut and we get a call on the radio, and it was our first sergeant. And you know, it was once again my team. So we had to go back there, and that first sergeant was about to blow his head off, and you know, needless to say, it was a rough time with. I'm gonna tell you what. By the time I got out of that deployment, I looked tough. I have muscles even on my double chin. I have muscles. How many pushes I did, dude? I'm telling you.
Well, Mel, we're getting up against it, man. We're about to get cut off. So I want to thank you real quick before it gets ended for joining and being a part of Soldier Stories round 2. As always, everybody, you know the purpose of what this show is. We're trying to use a little bit of comedy and some camaraderie to end veteran suicides. So if you need help or you know somebody needs help, you know, don't be on the sidelines. Just, you know, say something, you know. There's plenty of avenues to go about it. You can reach us through Facebook, through TikTok, through YouTube, through our podcast. You can reach the suicide prevention. The number is 1-800-273-8255. That's 1-800-273-8255.
Also, the leavingthesidelines.org.
You can go out through leavingthesidelines.org with Chief Rathburn's organization. That's a great avenue if you're on the West Coast, especially in the Oregon and Washington area. There's no reason to reach out and get some help.
There's no reason not to.
Yeah, make sure that you are taking care of yourself mentally as you would physically. With that, we try to go live on Facebook once a week. Hit us up on our Facebook page, join our lives. I recommend headphones or being in a.
If kids are around.
Yeah, if kids are around, because
Yep.
we're definitely not kid friendly on there. But we look forward to seeing everybody. Mel, I want to thank you for joining us, and I know you got plans today, so have a good time with the family and take care.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for the invite.
All right.
Later, Mel.
Later.
All right.